Welcome, dear friends, to a most remarkable journey, a voyage back through the mists of time. And it is my distinct privilege to guide you as we venture deep into the heart of West Africa, to explore the enduring legacies of the 10 most ancient civilizations that once flourished in the lands we now call Nigeria. Here, beneath the tropical sun, and amidst landscapes that have witnessed millennia of human endeavor, lie stories of ingenuity, artistry, and societal evolution that are fundamental not only to the heritage of this great nation but to the shared story of humankind. From the earliest glimmers of complex society, marked by the enigmatic terracotta figures of the Nok, to the formidable might of empires like Oyo, whose cavalry once thundered across the savannas, Nigeria's past is a rich tapestry woven with threads of innovation and cultural brilliance. We shall traverse thousands of years, uncovering evidence of sophisticated ironworking, breathtaking artistry in bronze and clay, and complex political structures that govern vast territories and intricate trade networks. These are not mere relics of a forgotten age, but vibrant testaments to the resilience and creativity of the human spirit. Our exploration will take us from the mysterious rock shelters that cradled some of the continent's earliest inhabitants, to the bustling city-states that became beacons of commerce and learning. We shall marvel at the craftsmanship of the Igbo Ukwu, the spiritual authority of NRI, the foundational significance of Ife, the trans-Saharan reach of Kanem-Bornu, the industrious Hausa states, and the regal splendor of Benin. So prepare yourselves, as we embark on this illuminating quest to uncover the rich history and profound cultural achievements of these remarkable societies, whose echoes resonate powerfully even today. Our journey into Nigeria's deep past begins in the central part of the country, on the Jos Plateau, a region of striking rock formations and ancient human history. It is here, around 1500 BCE, that a remarkable civilization known as the Nok culture first emerged, leaving behind an artistic and technological legacy that continues to fascinate scholars and art lovers alike. The Nok are among Africa's oldest known civilizations to have developed iron smelting technology, a pivotal advancement that would have profoundly reshaped their society, their tools, their agriculture, and indeed, their relationship with the world around them. Imagine the scenes, the glow of furnaces, the clang of hammer on metal, transforming obdurate ore into implements of power and utility. The Nok are perhaps most renowned for their extraordinary terracotta sculptures, life-sized and smaller human heads and figures, often depicted with elaborate hairstyles, beaded ornaments, and strikingly expressive features, triangular or semicircular eyes, flared nostrils, and parted lips. These figures, unearthed accidentally during tin mining operations in the early 20th century, represent some of the earliest and most sophisticated sculptural traditions in sub-Saharan Africa. The sheer artistry and consistency of style across a wide geographical area suggest a highly developed artistic convention and quite possibly specialized workshops and artisans dedicated to their craft. The skill required to fire such large clay figures without them cracking is a testament to their advanced ceramic technology. The precise purpose of these magnificent terracotta figures remains a subject of scholarly debate, adding to the Nok's enigmatic allure. Were they representations of revered ancestors intended to mediate between the living and the spirit world? Or perhaps they were effigies of influential leaders, or deities central to their belief systems. Some figures appear to depict individuals suffering from ailments, leading to speculation that they might have been used in healing rituals or as votive offerings. Whatever their specific function, their presence points to a complex social and religious life, a society that valued art not merely for decoration but for its profound symbolic and spiritual power, connecting them to deeper cosmic understandings. The Nok culture flourished for over a millennium, from roughly 1500 BCE to around 200 CE, a remarkably long period of cultural continuity. Their settlements, though not extensively excavated, appear to have been dispersed agricultural communities. The development of iron tools would have enabled them to clear denser forests for farming, leading to increased food production and potentially supporting a larger, more settled population. This agricultural surplus could, in turn, have freed up individuals to specialize in other crafts, such as pottery, iron smelting, and of course the creation of their iconic terracotta art, fostering a rich cultural milieu. The eventual decline and disappearance of the Nok culture are as mysterious as their origins and the meaning of their art. There is no clear evidence of conquest or sudden catastrophe. Perhaps environmental changes, internal societal shifts, or the gradual assimilation into successor cultures led to their fading from the historical record. However, their influence did not vanish entirely. Many scholars believe that the artistic traditions of the Nok, particularly their skill in terracotta and their stylistic conventions, may have laid a foundation for later artistic developments in West Africa, including the celebrated art of If and Benin, a subtle but enduring echo through the centuries. Today, the Nok terracottas are treasured worldwide, not only for their aesthetic beauty, but also as crucial pieces in the puzzle of African history. They stand as silent witnesses to a sophisticated early civilization that mastered both the art of clay and the transformative power of iron. As we gaze upon these ancient faces, we are reminded of the depth of Africa's past and the remarkable ingenuity of its peoples who, thousands of years ago, were already shaping a world of profound cultural richness and technological innovation, leaving an indelible mark on the human story. We now journey further back, much further, into the mists of prehistoric time, to a site that offers a profound glimpse into the very earliest human presence in what is now Nigeria. This is Iwo Eleru, a rock shelter nestled near Akure in Ondo State, a place where the echoes of our distant ancestors resonate with particular clarity. Here, archaeologists have unearthed evidence of human occupation stretching back an astonishing 13,000 years, placing the Iwo Eleru people among the earliest known inhabitants of this region, true pioneers in a world vastly different from our own. This site provides a crucial window into the late Stone Age in West Africa. The most significant discovery at Iwo Eleru is a human skeleton, fossilized remains that have been dated to approximately 11,000 BCE. This makes the Iwo Eleru skeleton one of the oldest anatomically modern human remains found in West Africa. The study of these ancient bones, though challenging, offers invaluable clues about the physical characteristics of these early peoples and their place within the broader narrative of human evolution and migration across the African continent, the very cradle of humankind. Imagine the painstaking work of the archaeologists, carefully brushing away the earth of millennia to reveal these fragile links to our deep past. The inhabitants of Iwo Eleru were likely hunter-gatherers, their lives intimately intertwined with the rhythms of nature. The archaeological record at the site includes a variety of stone tools, such as microliths, small, finely crafted stone implements that would have been hafted onto wooden shafts to create arrows, spears, or other composite tools. These artifacts speak of their ingenuity in adapting to their environment, their ability to hunt game, and process plant materials for food and shelter. The rock shelter itself would have provided a crucial refuge, protection from the elements, and perhaps from predators, a home base in a wild and untamed landscape. Understanding the daily lives of the Iwo Eleru people requires us to piece together fragmentary evidence. Beyond the stone tools and skeletal remains, analyses of faunal and floral remains found at the site can help reconstruct their diet and the local environment they inhabited. Were they hunting large game in surrounding savannas or fishing in nearby rivers? What plants did they gather for sustenance and medicinal purposes? Each tiny clue adds another brushstroke to the portrait of these ancient Nigerians, revealing their resilience and their deep knowledge of the natural world, a knowledge essential for their survival. The significance of Iwo Eleru extends beyond its sheer antiquity. The anatomical features of the Iwo Eleru skull have presented something of a puzzle to paleoanthropologists, as they exhibit a mosaic of archaic and modern traits. This has led to discussions about the complexity of human evolution in Africa, suggesting that the transition to full anatomical modernity might have been more varied and less linear than previously thought, with regional variations and perhaps even intermingling with more archaic human populations. This site challenges us to refine our understanding of our own species' journey. As we contemplate the immense span of time separating us from the Iwo Eleru people, it is humbling to recognize them as part of our collective human story. They were among the trailblazers, adapting and thriving in West Africa long before the rise of the great kingdoms and empires that would later define the region. Their legacy is not one of imposing monuments or intricate artworks, but something far more fundamental: the enduring human capacity to survive, to innovate, and to make a home in diverse and challenging environments. Iwo Eleru reminds us that Nigeria's history is not just thousands, but tens of thousands of years deep. Our exploration now takes us to the northeastern part of Nigeria, to Yobe State, near the village of Dufuna, not far from the Komadugu-Ghana River. It was here, in 1987, that a Fulani herdsman, digging a well, stumbled upon an object of extraordinary historical significance: the Dufuna canoe. This remarkable artifact, painstakingly excavated and conserved, has been scientifically dated to between 6,556 and 6005 BCE, making it approximately 8,000 years old. This astonishing age establishes the Dufuna canoe as the oldest known boat in Africa and the second oldest in the entire world, a testament to the ancient maritime ingenuity of the people who inhabited this region. The discovery of the Dufuna canoe was a watershed moment for African archaeology. It dramatically pushed back the timeline for sophisticated woodworking and boat-building technology on the continent, challenging previous assumptions about the capabilities of prehistoric societies in this part of the world. The canoe, measuring about 8.4 meters in length, was carved from a single log of African mahogany, a testament to the skill and labor involved in its construction using presumably stone tools. One can only imagine the immense effort required to fell such a large tree and then hollow it out to create a seaworthy vessel. The implications of the Dufuna canoe are far-reaching. Its existence strongly suggests that the people of this era possessed a deep understanding of their riverine environment, and had developed the means to navigate and exploit its resources. Such a vessel would have been invaluable for fishing, for transporting goods and people along the waterways, and perhaps even for communication between different settlements. It hints at a society that was not merely surviving but actively engaging with and mastering its surroundings, developing tools that expanded their horizons and capabilities. It speaks of a community with the foresight to invest significant resources into such a construction. The region where the Dufuna canoe was found, near the Lake Chad Basin, was environmentally very different 8,000 years ago. During the period known as the African Humid Period, this area was much wetter and greener than it is today, with a larger Lake Chad and extensive networks of rivers and wetlands. This green Sahara would have supported a rich diversity of flora and fauna, and the waterways would have been vital arteries for life and movement. The Dufuna canoe is a direct piece of evidence of human adaptation to this lush, water-rich environment, a sophisticated tool for a world teeming with aquatic life. The construction technique of the canoe, a dugout, is one of the oldest forms of boat building known to humanity, found in various cultures across the globe. However, the age and preservation of the Dufuna example are exceptional. The craftsmanship indicates a well-developed tradition, suggesting that this was not a first attempt, but rather the product of accumulated knowledge passed down through generations. The canoe's builders clearly understood the properties of wood and the principles of buoyancy and design necessary to create a functional and durable watercraft, enabling them to navigate the waters with confidence. The Dufuna canoe, now carefully preserved, stands as a proud symbol of Africa's ancient technological heritage. It reminds us that innovation is not confined to any single region or period, but is a universal human trait. Long before the rise of the more widely known empires, people in what is now Nigeria were already accomplished engineers and navigators, harnessing the natural resources around them to improve their lives and expand their reach. This single, silent vessel, resting after millennia, speaks volumes about the resourcefulness and ancient wisdom of its creators, true pioneers of the African waterways. Chapter 4. The Artistry of Igbo Ukwu, Bronzes of Splendor. We now move forward in time to the 9th and 10th centuries CE, journeying to the southeastern region of Nigeria, to a place called Igbo Ukwu in present-day Anambra State. It is here that a series of astonishing archaeological discoveries, beginning in 1938, unveiled a culture of extraordinary artistic and metallurgical sophistication. The Igbo Ukwu culture, as it came to be known, has left behind a treasure trove of intricate bronze artifacts, unlike anything else found in sub-Saharan Africa from this period, revealing a society of considerable wealth, complex ritual practices, and extensive trading connections. The story of Igbo Ukwu's unearthing is itself fascinating. It began when a local man, Isaiah Anozie, was digging a cistern in his compound and stumbled upon a collection of bronze objects. Subsequent archaeological excavations, notably led by Thurston Shaw in the late 1950s and 1960s, revealed three main sites: a burial chamber of a prominent individual, a storehouse of regalia or ritual objects, and a disposal pit. The sheer quantity and quality of the items found were breathtaking, including ornately decorated bronze bowls, shells, staff heads, pendants, and representations of animals like leopards and elephants, all crafted with incredible detail. The Igbo Ukwu bronzes are renowned for their unique style and the mastery of the lost wax casting technique, or displayed by their creators. These objects are often embellished with intricate patterns, granulations, and representations of insects such as flies and crickets, rendered with remarkable precision. The level of detail suggests not only immense skill but also a keen observation of the natural world. The source of the metals copper, tin, and lead used in these bronzes is also intriguing, as they are not readily available in the immediate Igbo Ukwu area, pointing to extensive trade networks that reached far and wide, perhaps even across the Sahara or along coastal routes. The nature of the society that produced these magnificent artifacts is still a subject of study. The richness of the burial site, often referred to as Igbo Isaiah, suggests it was the resting place of a highly esteemed individual, perhaps a priest-king, a ritual specialist, or a leader of great wealth and influence. The regalia found, including crowns, breastplates, and ceremonial staffs, point to a hierarchical society with well-established systems of authority and ritual. The objects themselves seem to be associated with ceremony and spiritual power, rather than warfare or everyday use, suggesting a culture deeply immersed in religious belief and practice. The symbolism embedded in Igbo Ukwu art is complex and multifaceted. The frequent depiction of shells, particularly the conch shell, and representations of creatures like snakes and chameleons, likely held deep spiritual significance within their cosmology. The intricate roped pot, a vessel encased in a web of bronze rope, is one of the most iconic pieces, showcasing an almost unbelievable level of casting skill. These were not just objects of beauty, they were imbued with meaning, carriers of cultural identity, and instruments of ritual power, connecting the community to its ancestors and its deities. The Igbo Ukwu finds provide a crucial counter-narrative to older, often Eurocentric views of African history, demonstrating the existence of highly sophisticated indigenous civilizations long before extensive European contact. This culture, flourishing around 1,000 years ago, had independently developed or mastered advanced metallurgical techniques and created a unique artistic tradition of global significance. The legacy of Igbo Ukwu is a testament to the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people, and a reminder of the diverse and dynamic history that unfolded across the Nigerian landscape, a history still yielding its secrets. Chapter 5: The Spiritual Heartland, the Kingdom of NRI. Contemporaneous with the flourishing of Igbo Ukwu, or perhaps emerging shortly thereafter in the 10th century CE, another significant cultural and political entity took shape in the Igbo heartland, the Kingdom of NRI. Centered primarily in the towns of NRI and Aguleri, also in modern Anambra State, this kingdom was unique. Its power and influence were not derived from military might or territorial conquest, but from spiritual authority and ritual prestige. NRI is often regarded as the ancestral and spiritual fountainhead of a significant portion of the Igbo people, a place of profound religious and cultural importance. The traditions of NRI speak of its founding by a divine figure named Eri, who is said to have been sent down from the sky by Chukwu, the supreme god in Igbo cosmology. Eri's descendants, particularly the Eze NRI, the priest king of NRI, held a unique sacral role. The Eze NRI was not a conventional monarch commanding armies, but a spiritual leader whose authority was recognized over a wide area. His influence was based on the belief that NRI was a holy land, and its agents possessed the power to cleanse abominations, confer titles, and sanctify communities, thereby maintaining cosmic balance and social order. Agents of the Eze NRI, known as, would travel throughout Igboland and sometimes beyond, performing ritual functions. They were responsible for purifying communities from taboos or sins, consecrating new settlements, mediating disputes, and conferring the staff, a symbol of justice and ancestral authority, upon local leaders. This system of ritual influence allowed NRI to exert a form of hegemony over a considerable territory without resorting to warfare. People from distant villages would make pilgrimages to NRI or request the services of its ritual specialists, acknowledging its spiritual preeminence. The Kingdom of NRI played a crucial role in shaping Igbo culture, laws, and social institutions. It is credited with promoting certain agricultural practices such as the cultivation of yam, a staple crop, and with establishing market days that helped to integrate the regional economy. NRI philosophy emphasized peace, diplomacy, and spiritual purity. The kingdom was a sanctuary, and its influence was associated with the abolition of practices like slavery within its sphere of direct ritual control, and the promotion of humane values. This ethical dimension was central to its enduring appeal. The archaeological record, combined with rich oral traditions, helps us piece together the history of NRI. Excavations have revealed artifacts, including bronzes that show some stylistic similarities to those of Igbo Ukwu, suggesting possible connections or shared cultural roots. Though Enri's own distinct artistic and ritual traditions also developed, the institution of Eze NRI continued for centuries, adapting to changing circumstances, though its overarching influence eventually waned with the rise of more militaristic states and the profound disruptions caused by the transatlantic slave trade and subsequent colonial rule. Despite the decline of its political sway, the cultural and spiritual legacy of NRI remains deeply embedded in Igbo identity. Many Igbo communities still trace their ancestry or certain cultural practices back to NRI. The kingdom stands as a remarkable example of a political system founded not on coercion, but on spiritual ideals and ritual services. It represents a sophisticated form of socio-political organization, demonstrating that power can manifest in diverse forms, and that the pursuit of spiritual harmony can be a potent force in shaping human societies, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire reverence. Chapter 6. Ile Ife, Cradle of the Yoruba. We now shift our focus westward to the forested heartlands of southwestern Nigeria, to a city of immense historical and cultural significance for the Yoruba people, Ile Ife. Emerging as a prominent center around the 9th century CE, though its origins are believed to be even more ancient, Ile Ife is revered as the cradle of Yoruba civilization, the place where, according to many Yoruba traditions, the world was created and humanity began. It was a powerful kingdom renowned for its sophisticated urban planning, advanced technology, and most famously, its breathtakingly naturalistic art. Ile Ife's art, particularly its terracotta and bronze heads and figures, represents a pinnacle of artistic achievement in ancient Africa. Discovered primarily in the early 20th century, these sculptures are celebrated for their remarkable realism, capturing individual likenesses with a sensitivity and skill that astonished the world. Unlike the more stylized forms seen in some other African traditions, Ife artists achieved a serene naturalism, depicting kings, queens, and deities with dignified composure and intricate details such as scarification patterns and elaborate headdresses. These works demonstrate a profound understanding of human anatomy and a mastery of casting and sculpting techniques. According to Yoruba mythology, Ile Ife was founded by the deity Oduduwa, who is considered the progenitor of the Yoruba people and their first divine king, or Oni. The Oni of Ife continues to be a highly respected traditional ruler, embodying the spiritual and historical legacy of the kingdom. The city itself is considered sacred ground, the site of numerous ancient shrines and groves connected to the Yoruba pantheon of Orishas, or deities. This spiritual significance cemented Ife's role as the primary religious center for many Yoruba people, even as other Yoruba kingdoms rose to political prominence. Beyond its art and spiritual importance, Ife was a notable urban center. Archaeological evidence points to paved courtyards, complex settlement patterns, and industries such as bead-making, particularly the manufacture of glass beads, which were traded widely. The famous pavement period of Ife, with its intricately laid potsherd pavements, speaks of a well-organized society capable of undertaking large-scale public works. This urban sophistication, combined with its artistic output, suggests a prosperous kingdom with a complex social hierarchy and specialized craftspeople supported by a productive agricultural base. The influence of Ile Ife extended far beyond its immediate boundaries. Its artistic traditions, particularly in bronze casting, are believed to have significantly influenced other cultures in the region, most notably the Kingdom of Benin, whose own celebrated bronze work shows clear stylistic and iconographic links to Ife. Oral traditions often speak of Ife artisans being sent to other kingdoms to establish or teach their crafts. This cultural diffusion underscores Ife's status as a major artistic and technological wellspring in West African history, a beacon of creativity. Today, Ile Ife remains a vibrant city, deeply conscious of its historical importance. The legacy of its ancient artists continues to inspire awe, and its position as the spiritual homeland of the Yoruba people endures. The magnificent heads of Ith, whether in terracotta or bronze, are more than just beautiful objects. They are powerful symbols of a sophisticated civilization that flourished over 1,000 years ago, a testament to the artistic genius and cultural depth that characterize this remarkable West African kingdom, truly a jewel in Nigeria's ancient crown. Our historical exploration now transports us to the vast Sahelian plains surrounding Lake Chad, a region that for over a millennium was dominated by one of Africa's longest-lasting and most influential empires, Kanem-Bornu. With its origins tracing back to the 9th century CE in Kanem, to the east of Lake Chad, the empire later shifted its center of power to Bornu, west of the lake, where it continued to thrive for centuries. This was a major Islamic civilization, a formidable military power, and a crucial hub in the trans-Saharan trade network. The longevity of the Kanem-Bornu Empire is truly remarkable, largely attributed to the Saifawa dynasty, which ruled for over 1,000 years, one of the longest dynastic reigns in recorded history. Early Kanemite power was built upon a confederation of nomadic groups, but under the Saifawa, the state became more centralized, adopting Islam around the 11th century. This conversion had profound implications, integrating Kanem-Bornu into the wider Islamic world, fostering literacy through Quranic education, and providing a legal and administrative framework based on Islamic law. The empire's strategic location around Lake Chad was key to its prosperity and power. The lake provided vital water resources in an arid region, supporting agriculture and fishing. More importantly, Kanem-Bornu controlled crucial southern termini of the trans-Saharan trade routes. Caravans laden with goods such as salt, cola nuts, slaves, and textiles from the south would converge here, to be exchanged for horses, cloth, beads, and manufactured goods from North Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe. The empire grew wealthy by taxing this trade and participating directly in it. Military strength was a cornerstone of Kanem-Bornu's dominance. The empire was particularly renowned for its formidable cavalry, equipped with quilted armor for both horse and rider, and iron weapons. The ability to project military power across the vast distances of the Sahel allowed Kanem-Bornu to expand its territory, control trade routes, and extract tribute from vassal states. The Mays, or kings of Kanem-Bornu, commanded large armies and established a sophisticated military organization that was respected and feared by its neighbors for many centuries. Under influential rulers like Mai Dunama Dibalemi in the 13th century and Mai Idris Aluma in the late 16th and early 17th centuries, Kanem-Bornu reached heights of power and administrative sophistication. Mai Idris Aluma in particular is remembered as a great reformer who introduced firearms obtained through trade with the Ottoman Empire, built brick mosques, promoted Islamic learning, and rationalized the legal system. His reign is often considered a golden age for Bornu, marked by stability, expansion, and cultural flourishing, with Ngazargamu, the capital, becoming a significant center of Islamic scholarship. The Kanem-Bornu Empire, despite periods of internal strife and external challenges, endured into the late 19th century, a testament to its resilience and adaptability. Its influence on the history, culture, and demographics of the Lake Chad Basin and surrounding regions is immense. It facilitated the spread of Islam, fostered long-distance trade, and left a legacy of statecraft and military tradition that shaped the political landscape of the Central Sahel for centuries. It stands as a powerful example of a sophisticated, large-scale indigenous African empire that played a major role on the world stage. Chapter 8. Hubs of Commerce and Craft, the Hausa City-States. Journeying to the north and northwest of present-day Nigeria, we encounter another remarkable set of polities that shaped the history of the Sahelian region, the Hausa City-States. Emerging around the 10th century CE, these states, including famous names like Kano, Katsina, Zaria, Dora, Gobir, and Rano, developed as independent, often rivalrous walled cities. While politically distinct, they shared a common Hausa language, similar cultural traditions, and deep involvement in the trans-Saharan trade, forming a vibrant network of commerce and craftsmanship. According to legend, the Hausa states, or Hausa Bakwai, the 7 true Hausa states, trace their origins to Bayajida, a mythical hero from Baghdad who is said to have slain a serpent that troubled the people of Daura, subsequently marrying the queen. His descendants are credited with founding the other primary Hausa states. This foundational myth provided a sense of shared identity, even amidst their political fragmentation. Each city-state was ruled by a sarki, or king, and developed its own specializations that contributed to the collective economic strength of the Hausaland region. Kano, for instance, became renowned for its production of textiles, particularly its indigo-dyed cloth, which was highly sought after across West Africa and beyond. Its ancient dyeing pits, some still in use today, are a testament to this long tradition. Katsina, strategically located on the trade routes, emerged as a major commercial and Islamic learning center, attracting scholars and merchants from far and wide. Zaria, to the south, was known for its access to slaves for the trans-Saharan trade, and its formidable warrior queen Amina, who in the 16th century is said to have expanded its territories significantly. The Hausa city-states were characterized by their impressive fortifications, massive earthen walls and moats built to protect their inhabitants, and their wealth from raiders and rival states. Within these walls, bustling markets thrived, offering a diverse array of goods, from local agricultural products and crafts to imported items from North Africa and other parts of West Africa. These cities were cosmopolitan centers, home to skilled artisans, merchants, Islamic scholars, and farmers who cultivated the surrounding lands, creating a dynamic urban and rural economy. Islam gradually spread throughout Hausaland, primarily through the influence of trans-Saharan traders and itinerant scholars, particularly from the 14th century onwards. It coexisted with, and eventually largely replaced, indigenous Hausa religious beliefs, Maguzawa. The adoption of Islam brought literacy in Arabic, Islamic legal systems, and connections to the wider Muslim world, further enhancing the sophistication and cosmopolitanism of the Hausa city-states. Mosques and Quranic schools became prominent features of urban life, fostering a tradition of scholarship. For centuries, the Hausa city-states maintained their independence, though they often engaged in conflicts and alliances with one another. Their economic interdependence, however, fostered a degree of regional cohesion. It was only in the early 19th century that they were brought under a unified political entity with the Fulani Jihad, led by Usman Dan Fodio, which resulted in the establishment of the Sokoto Caliphate. Nevertheless, the legacy of the individual Hausa city-states, with their distinct identities, economic specializations, and rich cultural heritage, remains a vital part of Nigeria's historical tapestry, showcasing a vibrant urban tradition in the Sahel. Chapter 9. The Mighty Benin, a Kingdom of Bronze and Power. Our historical narrative now leads us south into the dense rainforests of what is now Edo State, to the heart of one of West Africa's most renowned and powerful kingdoms, Benin. Emerging as a significant political entity around the 13th century CE, though its dynastic origins are traced even earlier to the Ogiso period, the Kingdom of Benin, with its capital at Edo, later Benin City, became a major military and cultural force, celebrated for its highly centralized monarchy, its formidable army, and above all, its magnificent art, particularly the world-famous Benin bronzes. The Kingdom of Benin was ruled by a succession of powerful obas, or kings, who were considered divine or semi-divine figures. The Oba held supreme political, military, and spiritual authority, presiding over a complex hierarchical administration with various chiefly titles and palace associations. Oral traditions, rich and detailed, recount the history of the Obas, their conquests, and their contributions to the kingdom's development. A particularly pivotal moment was the arrival of Oronmiyan from Ife, who is credited with establishing the dynasty that continues to this day, linking Benin's royal lineage to the revered Yoruba city. Benin's military might was a key factor in its expansion and influence. The kingdom developed a well-organized army capable of campaigning effectively in the challenging rainforest environment. This military prowess allowed Benin to control a significant territory, incorporating various neighboring peoples and securing access to vital trade routes, including those leading to the coast. The wealth derived from trade in items such as ivory, pepper, palm oil, and, later, slaves, further strengthened the Oba's power and funded the lavish artistic production for which Benin is famed. The art of Benin, especially the bronze and ivory sculptures, represents an extraordinary cultural achievement. Commissioned primarily by the Oba to adorn the royal palace and commemorate historical events, ancestors, and deities, these works are characterized by their technical brilliance and rich iconography. The bronze plaques, which once decorated the pillars of the Oba's palace, provide a vivid historical record, depicting court life, royal ceremonies, Portuguese traders, and military exploits. The exquisitely carved ivory masks and pendants are equally stunning, showcasing the exceptional skill of Benin's artisans, who worked under royal patronage in specialized guilds. Benin City itself was a marvel of urban planning. Early European visitors in the 15th and 16th centuries described it as a vast, well-organized city with broad streets and impressive earthen walls and moats, reputed to be among the most extensive earthworks in the world. The Oba's Palace, a sprawling complex of courtyards and galleries, was the administrative and ceremonial heart of the kingdom. This urban sophistication reflected the kingdom's power, wealth, and the organizational capacity of its rulers, creating an imposing capital. The Kingdom of Benin maintained its sovereignty and cultural integrity for centuries, engaging in trade and diplomatic relations with European powers, notably the Portuguese, from the late 15th century onwards. However, this era of interaction eventually culminated in the tragic British punitive expedition of 1897, which led to the conquest of Benin, the exile of the Oba, and the looting of thousands of its priceless artworks, now scattered in museums and private collections worldwide. Despite this traumatic event, the cultural legacy of Benin endures, and the Oba of Benin remains a revered traditional figure, a symbol of a glorious and powerful past. Chapter 10. Masters of Cavalry, the Oyo Empire. For our final chapter in this exploration of Nigeria's ancient civilizations, we turn to the Oyo Empire, a Yoruba state that rose to become one of the largest and most politically influential empires in West Africa. Founded, according to tradition, in the 14th century by Oranmiyan, a prince of Ife, who also figures in Benin's history, Oyo gradually expanded from its heartland in the northern Yoruba savanna to control a vast territory that, at its peak in the 17th and 18th centuries, stretched from western Nigeria to parts of modern-day Benin Republic and Togo, dominating key trade routes to the coast. What set Oyo apart and fueled its expansion was its formidable military, particularly its skilled cavalry. In a region where horses were susceptible to disease carried by the tsetse fly, Oyo managed to establish and maintain a powerful mounted force by sourcing horses from the north through trans-Saharan trade networks. This cavalry gave Oyo a significant military advantage over its neighbors in the savannah, and even allowed it to project power into parts of the forest belt. The image of Oyo horsemen became synonymous with its imperial might, a force to be reckoned with. The political structure of the Oyo Empire was complex and sophisticated, characterized by a system of checks and balances. The Alafin, or king, was the supreme ruler, considered a companion of the gods. However, his power was not absolute. He was advised and to some extent controlled by the Oyo Mezi, a council of 7 principal state councillors, led by the Bashorun, prime minister. Furthermore, the Ogboni, a powerful secret society of civic and religious leaders, also played a significant role in governance and could act as a check on both the Alafin and the Oyo Mezi, creating a unique tripartite system. Oyo's economy was built on a combination of agriculture, crafts, and, crucially, trade. The empire controlled important trade routes that linked the interior with the coastal ports, facilitating the exchange of goods such as slaves, cola nuts, textiles, and salt. The port of Ajay's, Porto Novo, became a key outlet for Oyo's commerce, particularly during the era of the transatlantic slave trade, which brought considerable wealth to the empire but also sowed seeds of internal division and eventual decline. The revenue from trade enabled the Alafin to maintain his court, army, and administrative apparatus. The capital city, Oyo-Ile, also known as Old Oyo, located in the Savannah region, was a large and populous urban center, the administrative and commercial heart of the empire. Archaeological work at its site has revealed extensive ruins, including palace complexes and defensive walls, attesting to its former grandeur. The empire was administered through a system of provincial governors and tributary states, which were expected to pay homage and provide resources to the Alafin, extending Oyo's influence over a wide area. However, by the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the Oyo Empire began to experience internal strife, power struggles between the Alafin and the Oyo Mezi, revolts in its provinces, and increasing pressure from external forces, including the rising Fulani Jihad from the north and Dahomey from the west. These factors led to a gradual decline and eventual collapse of the empire by the mid-19th century. Despite its fall, the Oyo Empire left an indelible mark on Yoruba history, culture, and political thought, and its legacy continues to resonate in the traditions and identity of the Yoruba people today, a testament to its once formidable power and sophisticated governance. And so, our remarkable journey through the annals of Nigeria's ancient civilizations draws to a close. From the earliest whispers of human ingenuity at Iwo-Aleru and the pioneering navigation of the Dufuna canoe people, to the artistic brilliance of Nok, Igbo Ukwu, and Ife and the imperial grandeur of Kanem-Bornu, the Hausa states, Benin, and Oyo, we have witnessed a panorama of extraordinary human achievement. These societies, each unique and vibrant, laid the foundational stones upon which the rich cultural mosaic of modern Nigeria is built, a heritage of profound depth and diversity. The stories of these ancient civilizations are not merely tales of a distant past. They are living legacies that continue to inform the present and inspire the future. They speak of resilience, innovation, complex social organization, and a deep spiritual connection to the land. Understanding this rich history is crucial, for it fosters a sense of identity, pride, and a deeper appreciation for the incredible journey of human development in this part of the world. The echoes of their achievements resonate in the art, languages, traditions, and philosophies that endure today. Thank you for joining us on this historical odyssey. We hope this exploration into Nigeria's ancient civilizations has been as enlightening and fascinating for you as it has been for us to share. If you've enjoyed this voyage through time, please do like this video, share it with others who might appreciate this rich history, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating insights into our world's diverse past. We look forward to welcoming you back as we continue to unveil the wonders of human history. Until then, farewell.